We are in scary times. Scary times. Recently, we had a juvenile in a local park at a girl fight, a huge girl fight, and this juvenile is in possession of a firearm. Somebody tells the police once they get on scene that that kid has a gun. Now, at the moment, it's just alleged, right? Because we can't prove it. The only way we can prove it is if we make contact with the kid. Contact is made with the kid. He's asked if he has a gun. The kid says no, but he's backing away from the officer as he's saying no. That's not normal behavior. If you don't have a gun, why are you backing away from the officer? The officer asks why you backing away. The kid says, I'm scared of the police. Which is, in a way, normal for people to be scared of the police. But at the same time, I asked you if you have a gun and you're backing away. So it also looks like you might have a gun. The officer tells the kid to place his hands out like an airplane. The kid initially does that, but he immediately places his hand at his waistband, goes up under his shirt, and before the kid has a chance to pull out the gun that was later found on him, the police officer draws quickly, places the gun down range towards the kid. The kid gets extremely spooked, gives up, falls to the ground, and is subsequently apprehended. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in scary times when children are in possession of firearms in our city and not afraid to pull them out on uniformed police officers. Scary times, man. These children need something to do. Children got idle time on their hands. They're going to be kids, man. They're going to be children. I remember growing up, me and my brother, we didn't have time to do anything else other than play sports. From the time we was 5 and 6 years old, my mom had already signed us up for gymnastics. I'm talking about gymnastics, dude. We didn't watch gymnastics. We knew nothing about gymnastics. And she had signed us up for gymnastics. First sport we ever played. So from the time we were 5 or 6 years old, we were already involved in things that would keep us out of trouble, to keep us from being idle. The next year we played baseball. That was the second sport we played. And we played that all the way up to high school. I even played my senior year in college. And then the next sport was we played football. We had stopped doing gymnastics. We only did that for like 1 year. But it introduced us to sports. It introduced us to extracurricular activity. So by the time we were playing baseball and football, doing things, doing stuff outside of the house, outside of our used to be normal was normal. We occupied our time with sports. And my mom always said, listen, I don't care if y'all go to college. I don't care if you become a lawyer or a doctor. That's not what I care about. My goal as your mother, as a single mother at the time, is to keep y'all out of the streets when you get older. She wanted to make sure that we was good at something. So by the time we were old enough to leave the house, drive, and roaming the streets was something that we didn't care to do. And we didn't care to do it because we was already occupied. By the time we got to high school, man, the bell would ring at 1:50, and guess where we was going? Football practice, baseball practice. What time we was getting out of football and baseball practice? It was like 7 o'clock at night. By that time, it's time to go home, do homework, eat, go to sleep. Ain't nothing else to do. These kids, man, being raised in these single mother households, I'm not blaming the single mother no more than I'm blaming the dad who left them. It's both of y'all fault. Both of y'all fault. Because y'all couldn't get together. And now the kid is forced to figure out half of his life by himself. Because mama can only do so much. As a man, I can't leave my baby's mother, who should have been my wife in the first place before I even had you. But that's neither here nor there. It's not about ridiculing about sexual decisions that led to the birth of a child. This is more about the child is here now. So what are we going to do about it? As a father, if all I have is a baby mama, I can't walk out and just go live my life elsewhere. I got to remember, I still have a child, and that child has a mother, and it's my job to make sure they are good. Because when I don't do that, and I leave the mother to fend for herself, and especially if she's raising a boy, she's forced to try to figure it out by herself. And we all know without the right support, life becomes extremely hard to figure out. These children need direction. They need to experience consequences to their actions at an early age. Because without feeling pain through consequence and recourse, they grow up to do things that are just out of the ordinary. Like being 15, 16 years old carrying a gun as if you are a mobster or a gangster, as if you really need a gun to protect yourself. Who are you protecting yourself from? Have you ever thought about changing your environment, changing those who you hang around? Have you ever thought about telling your mom what's going on in your life that makes you feel like you need to protect yourself so that she can get you out of the current school that you at and move you to another school, talk to the principal, talk to the SRO? And these kids they left out here to dry. You hang them on a line and you say, dry yourself out. You figure it out. Come on, dog. Let's go back to the extracurricular. For you single mothers and for you married folks, your child should not be going to school, getting out, and going home. There are way too many activities at your school for your children to be involved in, for the bell to ring, and they just go home. That's a huge mistake. And if they are going home, you better be getting off the job, or they better have their own car, and they driving themselves to a job. Because children who get out of school and go home, at least in our community, and when I say our community, I'm talking about the black community, but this affects every community. But it affects the black community so much harder. For whatever reason. I could come up with 100, and you could too, probably. But it's just no reason for the child to be going home after school. They could be playing on the football team, the baseball team, the basketball team. They could be a part of the cake club, the rice club, whatever. The computer club, FBLA, they still got that. Upward Bound, is that just a summer thing? It's just way too much for children to be involved in, for them to not be involved in anything. Idle time will kill your child. It could kill them physically, because they could run the streets and get killed. It could kill them spiritually and emotionally, because they don't have the confidence in themselves to believe that they can do things. See, extracurricular activities, they hone a child's ability to believe in themselves. See, outside of school, that's purely academic. When the bell rings, now children get involved in these activities that force them to challenge themselves against other children. They are placed in environments where the adults challenge them and tell them they're not doing it good enough. They need to give more effort. If you're allowing your child to live life not doing more, you are failing your child. You are literally failing your child. And you can't wait till the child is 14 years old to make them want to do more. It's got to start early, man. It's got to start early. I'm talking like 5 years old. probably 4 years old, maybe 3 years old. Basically, my point is the sooner you start teaching your child that there's more to life than just school, more to life than just work, then that's when you start instilling in your child that they can do more, they can be more. Because we see what happens when they aren't more. They turn to the streets, they turn to drugs, they turn to violence, they turn to gun violence, they turn to hate people who look like them. They find other ways to compete against people. When you don't allow them to or force them into extracurricular activities after school that are positive, they turn to negative extracurricular activities where there's still a level of competition. But that competition looks completely different than those in the controlled environments on a football team, a basketball team, the cake club, the chess club. This is physical competition that's not controlled. Fights, shootouts, robbing, stealing. I want more for our kids, man. I want more for our families. Because I think as a whole, we deserve more. But it's not going to be handed to us. You got to earn it, man. We can't be of the mindset that handouts are going to save us. Handouts might keep us alive, but I want to be more than just alive. I want to thrive. And as parents, we need to be in a position to be able to thrive so that we can show our children that this is the way of life. The opposite is some BS that we don't want to be a part of. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to show you how to succeed. I'm going to show you how to be great as your father. And then when it's your turn to be a father, you will do better than me because I've set the foundation for you, son. I've set the foundation for you, daughter. Now you need to build on top of the foundation that I've set for you and create your own foundation for your children, so on and so forth. To love our children is to parent our children. To love our children is to punish our children. It's to hold them accountable. It's to be hard on them. When you don't parent your children parent themselves. When you don't parent your children, the police parent your children. The teachers try to parent your children. But they can only do so much. The police have tools that teachers don't. I feel sorry for teachers. In this day and age, I really do feel sorry for the teachers because when a kid does something stupid in school or is bad in school, the teacher calls the parent. The teacher calls the parent because the teacher is expecting that the parent is going to hold the child accountable and is going to deal with the situation. But nowadays, the teacher call a parent. The parent want to know what the teacher done did wrong. How is that? How have we come to be here when parents are believing the words of their children over adults who have been hired and trained to supervise, not only supervise, but teach and instill into these children? It's stressful. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when I see parents who don't care. I've seen kids come to school, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids come to school, snotty nose, pants unzipped, no belt on. I seen a kid with no drawers on one day, a little boy, had nothing but jeans on. Face hadn't been washed, Head hadn't been brushed. Because what's happening is, I would imagine, is that the parent, they feel like their only job is to wake the damn boy up. Excuse my language. And once they've wakened the child up, it might be to give them some cereal, but they probably already taught the kid at 6 years old how to pour a bowl of cereal. So after they even woke the kid up, the kid on his own. He get up, he go to the bathroom, he use it. He probably ain't brushing his teeth. He definitely ain't brushing his hair. He ain't washing his face. He finds some clothes on the floor, throw them on, grab his book bag. Ain't nothing in the book bag. It's just as empty as it want to be. And if he got brothers or sisters, they doing the same thing. They walk out the house. They walk to school or to the bus stop. And by the time they get to the school, or when they get to the school, they look like a throwaway child, because that's what's happening. The parents throwing the kids away. If you're not parenting them, what are you doing? Nothing. So you're throwing your kids away. You're throwing them out there to the wolves, and you tell them to go out there and figure life out on their own at such an early age. And when they don't have the tools to understand and move through life fluently, they lose every single day. So that means every single day they get more and more used to losing. And losers, they eventually feel defeated. And when you feel defeated, but somebody forces you to continue the race, what do? You don't focus. You don't care. And you turn to everything else but trying to win. That ain't no way for a child to live, man. That's all I got, man. That's what was on my mind. That's what was on my mind, man. Boy. Just got to make sure that I be the best daddy that I can be, and that I stay married to my wife. Just two basic goals, but I understand how powerful those goals are, though. If I could stay married to my wife forever and be in my daughter's life as long as I live, we're going to be all right. Because chances are she won't turn to the streets. She won't turn to drugs. And I'm not saying that these things won't happen in two-parent households. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I give my child a better percentage or a better chance to be productive as an adult one day if I just stay married to her mama and I stay in her life. Y'all have a great day. Black dad for the win. Black dad for the world. I like saying that. That should be black dad for the world. Black dad for the win. I'll figure it out. Have a great day.